Hi, I'm Sherry McGill, and you're watching Lessons Learned. Welcome back to Lessons Learned. Today we're going to embark upon a scrap challenge quilt. You can make as many blocks as you want of this, but we're going to go back and use one of our vintage mystery blocks, the Ribbon Star. I think it was number 6 on our video series, and I will put a link to this PDF again in this video, or you can go into the vintage mystery block playlist and pick whatever block you want to do for this particular challenge. So I have not decided exactly how big I want to make my quilt, but I'm going to make a couple of test blocks first, I believe, just to kind of see what sort of configurations we can get with this. As I showed you on Monday, I believe it was, I have a good supply of scrap fabric that I have crum quilted together, and I will be cutting into this to make my blocks. I want the majority of the star to be of the scrap fabrics, and I'm thinking of making a block that's just a solid square here instead of the diamond. Not sure as one of them. As a matter of fact, I may also do one with the scraps in the star points. And I want to try one also with this bright sunny yellow here as the star points, and do some sort of configuration that way. So I may end up with 2 to 4 test blocks just to see what I want to do. Now, the important thing is to get the background right. Now, I feel like the best option for this type of quilt would be to use denim or something that looks like denim. I think that would look awesome. So I pulled these a few things here that I have to see what might look good. And I have this, this is from QT Fabrics. It's a blender, but I do believe that it has too much movement in it, or too many different tones in it. So I think I'm going to eliminate that one right off the bat. Now I also have this one. This is from Riley Blake, also a blender. I only have 1 yard of this, so at some point after No Buy January is over, I probably would have to get some more. But this would work. And it does kind of have that denim-y look, although it's a dot, but it's not as bold of a blender, if that's even conceivable, as this one is. I would consider using this one. Also, I have 2 more denim-like colors, a medium one and a dark one. And neither one of them are really doing anything for me. So, I don't know, I kind of like this dark one, but I think it's because it's kind of grayish, and I think gray would look good with this too. I don't currently have a big piece of gray, I don't believe. So I'm going to take those away. And then I have these sewing theme prints. And I know I said that first blender was kind of busy. Both of these are way busier than that, but they're high contrast. I think they're higher contrast against all these colors that they could work out. So I could either use that as the background or just use it as the center squares. I'm not sure. That would be kind of hard because these are directional. So it would have to probably be, I'd probably have to just give up on the directional aspect of these to be able to use it in here and just let it do what it's going to do. This one probably wouldn't be too bad because it's really tiny print. This one has a little bit bigger motif on it, it might cause me a problem. I don't know. I kind of like either one of those. I like this one. Let's take this away. And I'm going to set this aside for a second. Now, black and white, you're not going to go wrong. Either one. Either one would be great. I love the black, especially with the yellow. And if you did the black only around the edges, and then I got that square that I was originally talking about, and then the yellow points, I think that would be pretty sharp. It would be bright. I think I can definitely rule out the white. Okay, so that brings me back to this one. So we're between black and this one. I don't know how that's showing up on the camera. Let me get it a little bit closer to you. You all have probably seen this before. It's a cream, but it's not real creamy like that other one. This is from, and I have plenty of this. This is from, I don't think I have a selvage edge that has it on it. Oh, Contempo's So Bloom Cherry Guidry of Cherry Blossoms Quilting Studio for Benartex. So Bloom, S-E-W, Bloom. Another thing I can do is just totally forget the star points and do something like this. Maybe without the black. And just make this my background. Make that my background with my... Let's see how we can do that. And then I could just do the pattern the way it is. I would have the blue on this pattern and the yellow would be out of this. And then my backgrounds and that background there would be this. And like I said before, this wording would be all turned around by the time you got your half square triangles positioned. At least mine would be. I'm sure there's a way to make sure that they all go the right way. But either way, there's going to be a seam here and a seam here. And those are going to maybe not match up side to side, even if you had it right. So I'm going to make a couple things and see what happens, and I'll be right back. Okay, here's my first block done using the sewing dictionary. I love this. I absolutely love this. So it almost makes me not want to make any other test blocks, but I have decided I am going to make a black one so you can see a bigger, deeper contrast than just this. So I think this is probably the way I'm going to go for a quilt, and I'll be right back with that black one. Alright, there it is in black. So while that is very striking and pretty, I still feel like I like this one better. I don't know. I think, I've always wanted to do a newsprinty looking background, and I've never done one, and I think it's time to do it with these scraps, with this crum quilting. So, also, I feel like this, well, I can't get my, that's going to drive me crazy. I can't get my seams very nicely matched together because of all of the layers and all of the seams of the crum quilting. And I think I did actually do better on this one. I don't know. I think maybe this material was a little lighter, And I also pressed my seams on my half square triangles. I did press them toward the light side. And the only reason I would have done that is because of all the extra seams on the crum quilted side. So I generally press open my seams anyway, so you're going to see, you know, a little shadow on my projects like that. But on this black, this is Riley Blake black, but it seems a little stiff, this particular bolt that I'm cutting from. So it was very difficult to get my little points together there with all these extra seams, and it shows on the black is the point I'm trying to get at. Is you know, if you struggle with matching those corners up, points up, that might be a little bit more of a challenge than you want to take on. But it's beautiful. I love it too. But either way, you can see that the difference here. It's a very, very, very different look. And I also found another bolt of Riley Blake that's kind of a, I don't know, kind of a worn, I think it's their version of grunge, but it's not called grunge. I think it's called, hold on, I'll look. It is called Shabby. So I thought, well, maybe I should try that too. That's kind of that denim-y look, but it kind of has a little purpleness to it that I don't really care for. But that could have been a possible denim look fabric. I don't know what the color of that was. It's just some sort of medium to dark blue. Medium blue, I'd say. It would be pretty. Maybe as a backing or sashing. I don't even know if I'll be doing sashing. We'll just have to wait and see. Some other notes on the pattern is, you know, once you decide what background you're going to do, if you're going to do all the same background on every block, which, you know, usually that's what you do in a quilt. Not always, but usually. Once you decide that, you can just make these half square triangles, you know, chain stitch them up. You know, you could really put out some blocks pretty fast, is what I'm trying to say. I usually do like to make my blocks one at a time, but this is a way to get it done quick. There's so many half square triangles, and then on the corners you just have your 3.5 inch corner blocks there. Another note I want to say is you could actually make this bigger. I have in the original Vintage Mystery Block instructions to do to cut 4.5 inch and then trim down to 3.5 inch. You could probably trim down to 4. I kind of geared it toward beginners so that they would have enough to cut off on their half square triangle. Never mind my broken ruler, but yeah, if you make those squares 4.5 like I have on here, you wouldn't have to cut them all the way down to 3.5. You could cut them down to 4, and then your 4 corner squares would need to be 4 inches before you sewed them into your block. So that would make you come out with a, let's see, 4 times 4 is 16 minus 1 1/4. So it would be like a 14 3/4 inch block if you wanted a big block. This is a 12.5 inch block here. So that's something to consider too. If you want a bigger block. I wouldn't suggest going any smaller than this simply because of this crum quilting and how, you know, there's just so many seams and so many new seams that you're going to be sewing. It would be a little hard to get it any smaller than that. I think you would kind of lose the effect as well. So which color are you going to do? Which of these are your favorite, light or dark? And what are you going to do? Tell me down in the comments. Either way, get to crum quilting. Crum quilting, you've seen it all over YouTube. There's many creators who have YouTube videos on crum quilting, and basically you just start grabbing scraps and putting them together however they'll go together. And I talked about that a little bit the other day too. So not hard. Get your scraps out. It's no buy January, so we need to look deep into our stashes and do with what we have. So have fun with this. I think I'm going to have a great time putting these blocks together. And I'll see you on Finish It Friday. And if you have a block that you're making after watching this video, you get it done in time for Friday, send it to me in the email lessonslearnt2021@gmail.com. So have fun with this scrap challenge, and I'll see you soon. Bye.